Yo, what up, friend?
Wu-Tang Clan's final chamber tour. Yes, they went on tour with Run the Jewels all over the country except Nashville. Thanks a lot, guys. Really appreciate that. Even though you were supposed to be here and then COVID hit, you didn't come. I was expecting y'all to give us the final tour here. That's okay. It's all right. It's all right. It's my fault. I should have gone. I watched the Madison Square Garden portion show earlier today. I watched the whole 2 hour show. Shout out to New York City Jazz and Hip Hop Concerts and Shows YouTube channel for the video. It was awesome. It was amazing. It brought back so many memories. The Wu-Tang Clan, my favorite hip hop group of all time. I just love, and all the members who I went on to buy all the individual CDs. What an amazing run. I actually hope that they are one of those bands that fakes everybody out and comes back for a later tour so I can personally see them. That's just personally. But you'll see. They are saying that there could always be another album in the future together. But what an amazing run. If you're not a hip hop fan, Wu-Tang Clan was able to masterfully integrate 9 different personalities and then more once you included the branch offs and other things, especially after the late Old Dirty Bastard. May he rest in peace. Who, by the way, his son, shout out to the young Dirty Bastard who put in an amazing performance on this tour. I was very happily pleased with his performance and filling in for his late father. But anyways, the shows were great. The NYC show, they brought on all the special guests. They brought on the D Block. They brought on Little Kim. They brought on Big Daddy Kane. They brought on SWV. They brought on Redman. Who else was there? So many people. It was just amazing living back in the times when we had so much great music coming from them. Again, it's hard to put 9 people together and put together so many albums. And yeah, not every album was a classic, but most of them were really, really good. There were a couple years, but even those I liked because I'm a Wu head for sure, and I love all their music, no matter what. That being said, let me get you into my Wu-Tang rankings. Yes, I'm going to give you my top 3 Wu-Tang songs of all time, and then I'm going to give you 5 other songs that were Wu affiliated, but did not come from actual Wu-Tang albums themselves. So, favorite Wu-Tang songs ever. Let me hit you with number 1. Number 1, from their Forever album, Triumph. You see that picture on the left? I will forever know the lyrics to this song. And when I mean the lyrics, and it's a 6-minute rap song, I mean all of the lyrics. Even to this day, I could sing the whole song right now, but I don't want to get copyrighted. Bomb atomically, Socrates' philosophy. I'm not going to get copyrighted, but I could do the whole thing. Triumph. I remember I skipped school in 10th grade for this Forever album. Me and my boy, hey, shout out. I'm not going to give his government, but my boy, there's a bunch of Tonys out there, so no one's going to know. My boy, Tony, shout out my brother. I'm actually going to mention him a couple times in this next story because we grew up together and a lot of different monuments throughout that time were done together. And that included skipping school in 10th grade to go get the Forever album on which Triumph was on. Moving on, number 2, also going to involve my boy Tony. Shout out. I know he's not watching, but if he was, shout out to my brother. Cream, from their original Enter the 36 Chambers album. I remember I was in middle school football. We were playing for the Fort Belvoir Bulldogs. Shout out to the Fort Belvoir Bulldogs. Everybody knows that. And I was playing with my boy and Tony, and he actually came, him and his dad came and picked me up. We had a football game in Chantilly. Him, his dad, and I believe, I want to say it was my boy AS. I'm not going to say his government because I don't even know where he's at now. But my boy AS, I think it might have been DD. It might have been, and I'm using initials in case they're watching. They'll know who they are, but not. No, I'm not going to say who they are. It doesn't matter. Anyways, got in the car. We're going to the game. He's like, yo, my boy's like, yo, check out the new fire. He puts it in. Remember, we're like in, 8th grade at the time? So we're like, I don't know, 13 years old. No, this was in 90, no, 93. Yeah, 93. So, I'm not trying to age myself. Don't be asking me my age. You don't ask a gentleman his age. Anyways, Cream, I got in. We got in. Cash rules everything around me. Cream, get the money. Again, not trying to get copyright, but you know what I mean. And then finally, my third favorite song from Wu-Tang Clan is from another oldie but goodie from the Enter the 36 Chambers album. And that's going to be The Mystery of Shadowboxing. So again, involving my boy Tony. All these 3 songs involved him. That's great. That's tremendous. I haven't seen you in a long time, my brother. I hope you're doing well. I know we haven't seen each other in probably like 10 years now, but I hope you're doing well. Not that you're watching the show, but anyways, we used to go watch the karate flicks. So back when Wu-Tang was coming out, they were obviously heavily influenced by the old martial arts movies. So we used to all get together at each other's houses and watch the old martial arts flicks and just chill around. And so the mystery of chess boxing reminds me of that. So it's really cool. And then moving into the bottom 5 you see there, that's going to be my Wu affiliated. This is not actual on Wu-Tang albums. These are other artists or albums that were Wu-Tang affiliated. So the first one is Raekwon, Ghostface. You can never go wrong with Raekwon and Ghostface on the same track or the same album. Ice Cream, not to be confused with the aforementioned Cream. These are 2 totally different songs, but Ice Cream was tremendous. Butter Pecan Chocolate Deluxe. Even Caramel Sundays is getting touched. My ice cream truck. All right, shout out to that. Number 2 of my favorite Wu affiliated non Wu-Tang album songs is gonna be the Rockwalder. I almost went with How High because, well, anyways, obvious reasons. But I went with the Rockwalder, which could have gone with. They're both pretty much in the same kind of realm of music when it comes to me. But the Rockwalder was great. I could just hear the music in my head right now. Anyways, the Rockwalder. Number 3, Above the Clouds, the collaboration with Gangstar and Inspector Deck. Yes, I didn't realize how much light was in my eyes. Yes, what a tremendous collab it was here. Above the Clouds. If you have not heard this song, go check it out. It is amazing. Number 4, The What by the Biggie, may he rest in peace, Notorious B.I.G. and Method Man. What a great song. This is so underrated and rarely heard, but a great track. It was off of one of the Wu compilation albums. Yeah. I can hear the lyrics. I don't want to say them because a lot of them are really dirty lyrics, and I know there's some people watching that want to keep it PG right now. That being said, we'll move it to the final one, my number 5 Wu affiliated non-Wu-Tang album track, Wu Gambinos. Just the intro on this just hits. It's just, they got the mobster intro, and then all of a sudden all of them come in and just lay the lumber down, pause on these people. Raleigh Fingers. Yo, I can just remember pumping that song every day. So shout out to the Wu-Tang Clan. Salute my favorite group of all time and their final tour ever. That is your top 3 Wu-Tang songs, top 5 Wu affiliate songs. And I'm also going to give you a bonus here. My top 3 Wu-Tang lyricists. And I'm not going with rappers or personalities because I love all of them. I'm just talking lyricism here. The best lyricists in the group. This is very hard to do because all of them are very witty with the wordplay. But and I hate leaving people out on this list when I actually do this list. I hate the people that I leave out. It's gonna hurt me to leave you out, Meth. I love you, Meth. It's gonna hurt me because you make the best bangers. But in terms of, oh God, I hate doing this to him. Raekwon's at number 3. At number 2, Jizza the Genius. I mean, Liquid Swords, I bumped. Shout out D. Cleasy. Put me on to Liquid Swords. I bump that every damn day. And number 1, Ghostface Killah, the best lyricist and probably top 5, top 10 lyricist ever. Ghostface Killah, the way that he intricately weaves, he does the old Donald Trump weave, right? That's what they say Donald Trump does is the weave. Really, when Donald Trump does it, he's just talking indiscriminately. But Ghostface really does do the weave. And it's something that I do in my writing. When I write my songs, is I do similar. I've always used this kind of technique where you start the story and you have an ending, and then you use a bunch of twists and turns and metaphors and other things to get you from the start to the finish without letting anyone know where you're going. Now, you could also, some people would say, oh, that's gibberish, or it doesn't make any sense. And if you don't not putting it all together, it may not. But that's like saying Aesop Rock is gibberish. But just because you're listening to the lyrics and you're not actually understanding what they're saying, you're just hearing and not actually listening to what they're saying, doesn't mean they're gibberish. You're just not understanding what he's saying and putting it together, because they're all telling stories. So that's your top 3 Wu-Tang MCs: Ghostface, Jizza, Raekwon, and I'm so sorry to everyone else I left out, including Meth, who I think is, when in terms of non-lyricists, favorite Wu-Tang members, Meth is number 1. Meth is number 1. I love all of Meth's music in general. He may not be my favorite lyricist of the group, but I love all of his music. I don't think I've ever not liked anything of his. So, shout out to the Wu. Let's keep it moving. Oh, is this what you came for? Is this what you came for? Woo, is this what you came for? Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? ColdPlay with the ColdPlay, might I add, pun intended. I'm sure that's been used plenty of times already. Astronomer CEO Andy Byron made world headline news this week by going to a ColdPlay show and hanging out in the VIP club level section with someone, but that someone was not his wife. Was not his wife. No. It was the CPO of the company, the Chief People Officer, aka HR. And for anyone who's worked at a company, and any HR people watching this now, will confess, I had one HR person they may be watching now, they push back on me, but every other HR person agrees with me. HR people are the craziest people in each company. Okay? Got to watch out for the HR people. Now, they're crazy in a good way, but they're still crazy. Okay? You got to watch out for them in a good way. Again, I got along with all my HR people. I love them. I still talk to all of them, but I'm not going to say they don't got a wild side to them. Right? Now, I'm not saying it's not. There's both their faults. It takes 2 to tango. We all know the rules. We all know the rules to this game. Don't shit where you eat. Right? Don't mix business and pleasure. Right? All of these little cliches they've come up with in the past, which are cliches for a reason, because most of the time they're not most of the time. I shouldn't say that. Usually they're right. Sometimes they're right. Other could be, why are you doing? And again, I'm not here to, first of all, let me say, I am not an advocate of cheating. You should not cheat on anyone. I think if you're going to cheat on someone, you may as well just break up with them, because then you don't cause the heartache to them and you don't put the stress on yourself. Because cheating has got to be, I mean, I know this guy anyways, that he already feels horrible, even though he's the one that put himself in this position. But, like, if you didn't want to be with your wife, why not just divorce her amicably? Now, I know in his situation, he's a billionaire, so he was like, man, I'm going to lose half anyways. I might as well just try to get away with it. I guess That's what his thinking is. That's the only thing I can think personally. So maybe in that case, if you have that much money, that may make sense. It may behoove you to do that because you're going to lose the money anyways, and you're trying not to lose the money. Either way, I guess that would be the only situation. Why are you going to somewhere which is so public? And why are you in the most public place, the VIP balcony, where people are randomly taking videos, but they can see yo ass over here kissing with this girl? They don't know it's you at the time, but then later, like, oh, I had a video from, let me see if he's on here. Oh, look, they're right there. Looking all dumb like these memes over here. Look at these memes we got like they on Splash Mountain. Or like they're in the what's that photo called? The Scream photo? Not Scream. Was it Scream? I don't remember what it was called, but that's great. That's my favorite. The one on the right, that's my favorite. That's tremendous. That's great. And then Friends. Jeez Louise, The Office in the middle. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me. Calm down. Calm down. Office, I know. Calm down. Anyways, my issue with this is, and shout out to everybody watching on Instagram. I see you, my brother. And Shake 'em. I see you, Shake 'em. And anyone else tuned in, I appreciate y'all. Look at the left side of this photo, right? Look at the left side of the slide, okay? This is my thing. Yes, you're in a public place. Yes, you're making a stupid decision. Yes, you shouldn't be cheating on your wife. Yes, you shouldn't be with your head of HR. But all things aside, let's say that all these things work together and they work for you. Cool. Why are you acting like it's a big deal? Why are you covering your faces and turning around and dropping to the floor like you've been hit with a damn grenade? No sell it. Just no sell it. Don't nobody in that crowd know you or your wife. No sell it. And for the girl, why are you acting out? Don't nobody. Oh, I see. Yeah, that's right. You didn't want to get caught with Big Boss. But why does it matter? There were employees right there around you, so clearly everyone knew anyways. No sell it. Why are you not no selling this? You've got to no sell that. You've got to just like do a little hug, put your head down, act like you're happy, just let that camera pass a couple seconds, and just keep it moving. Because once you do all the gyrations, once you do all the movements and the hand in the face and the ducking down, now everybody know. Now everybody know there's something going on. But if you would have just chilled, okay, play it cool, don't move, they won't see us, no one will know, it's us, and the camera's gone. No one would have ever known. No one would have ever known. Now maybe if, and I heard this theory from the non-crazy HR person I talked to, who says they believe this person would paid ColdPlay to do this. I don't know. That I could see it happening, but that seems a little far-fetched. But maybe somebody really did have it out for him and was able to pay ColdPlay enough, because you'd have to pay ColdPlay enough money for that. Because there's a possibility you get sued if that was something that was done in like a collaborative, money-paid environment or something like that. So, but anyways, that's crazy. That was the biggest story of the week. I had to bring it up, obviously. I had to talk about it. But I just wanted to say, no sell it next time. If you're ever in that situation, someone else, which, first of all, just don't be in that situation. Just break up with the person if you don't like them. No point in cheating on them. But if you are, just no sell it. Just act like it's nothing. Just don't give any attention to it, because when you give attention to it, then attention is given to you. And that's what happened. Had y'all just sat there and let the camera pass like a whisper in the wind, whisper in the wind. Oh, your marriage is just a whisper in the wind. Well, yeah. And if the alleged photographs of his wife are his actual wife, sir, Sir, we got, as as they would say on I Love Lucy, you got some splaining to do, okay? If that was his actual wife who I saw floating around in the pictures, and I don't know because I only saw one, so it could just be AI generated or stock. I don't believe anything like that. You cannot believe anything you see on the internet these days with AI. I always make sure I verify. So I don't know if that picture was true. But if the alleged picture of his wife is his real wife, bro, what are you doing? Look, I again have said that cheating is wrong. You should not cheat. But there's a rule that players and cheaters have. And that is you never play and you never cheat down. Only up. Okay? And this is a down maneuver. If that alleged wife is his wife, this is a down maneuver. Just saying. Now maybe there's other reasons involved. I don't know. I don't purport to know. But in terms of what I see with my own eyes, if he gave up what he was said to give up, it's like a baseball trade. If he was said what he it's not like a baseball trade, and it's not funny at all, and I shouldn't be laughing, but it is like a trade. If I'm to give up this, I want to get back better. Not downgrading. No offense to the other lady. You're a beautiful lady as well. Just the other wife was a lot. You know what? What do y'all think about this craziness? Someone hit me in the comments. Someone help me out. Ain't nobody commented on this yet with me, and I'm just lost. I don't know what to think about this. What do y'all think about this? What is this dude doing? I don't know. Let me know in the comments. Let's keep it moving. Happy Gilmore. It's all the same cast of characters, same Adam Sandler, is same characters, same cast. Everybody's still in it. I think it's going to be great. I think you'll probably maybe a little more in the terms of family-ish, corny-ish, however you want to word that. And that's not Adam Sandler's fault, y'all. Adam Sandler, for y'all youngsters who never saw Adam Sandler was in his prime. He was like a JJ Redick in his prime as a comedian. He was clutch. He could bomb the three. He may not make the greatest of movies, but he makes really funny comedies. He'll have you laughing, really silly style, but always coming through in the clutch. I got Adam Sandler in his prime as a JJ Redick kind of clone. I think he'd like that. He likes bombing it from the outside. I loved Adam Sandler as a comedian. His albums that he did, his singing albums. I forgot what the album was called. Oh, man. Oh, he had a whole album back in high school. It was like 1990s. But anyways, shout out. I'm going to watch it. I think it's going to be good. I'm going to give it a chance, even though I do not like sequels. We get a comment from Clay Richard. Shout out Clay Richard for tuning in. Appreciate you. Says he was driving a Benz and traded it in for a 98 Celica. I'm going to have to go back through my notes real quick to see exactly who you're talking about, because I'm probably guessing that you're in the sports section, so you might be watching a little bit on the behind. Ooh, pause on that. You're not watching the behind, sir. I know that. Yeah, you may be a little bit behind. I'm trying to see if I are you talking about? Oh, you're talking about Dustin Poirier, probably. No, maybe you are. Maybe you are. Anyways, let me know when you catch up in the comments. But I appreciate you tuning in and watching. In other big entertainment news, horrible news, late night. Oh, wait, no, I wasn't done with my movies yet. Fantastic Four also hits theaters this Friday. Gotta say Fantastic Four because, not just because of the movie, I'm not really much of a comic book fan movie. I like the X-Men ones. Obviously, the old school Batman. Pretty much every Batman. The old school Spider-Mans were okay, were good. But like anything after 2000 that wasn't like X-Men or like Transformers, nah. Like now, if you're talking 80s, like Voltron, Transformers, yeah, of course. Thundercats. But if you're talking like after like 2000s, I really didn't watch that many comic book type movies except, again, X-Men, which has just always been a favorite of mine in terms of when I was a kid. That was really my go-to comic, X-Men and Wolverine. And maybe the Batman movies, they're really good, especially with the CGI and how Nolan does and things like that. And the Deadpool Wolverine, just because they're hilarious and pretty funny. There's a lot of very questionable things they do as well, but for the most part, funny. There are some things that they probably shouldn't do, but whatever. They're neither here nor there. But I'm not really into comic book movies. And as the great MJF from All Elite Wrestling once said, the reason is I used to like comic books. I used to like video games. But then I lost my virginity. I'm better than you, and you know it. Shout out, MJF. Salute. Anyways, Fantastic Four, I got to salute my brothers. That's the reason I brought this up. Yes, the movie will be out, and you should know that if you like comic book movies. But me and three of my best friends call ourselves the Fantastic Four. Shout out. The aforementioned I don't want to call him by his wrestling name because no one would know unless you were actually in some people might know from my OVW in Virginia and things like that. But the Kamikaze Kid, my brother, again, love you, man. Prayers. Clutch, my brother Clutch. Oh, my brother the Raven, nevermore. And yours truly, Rage. We consider ourselves to be the Fantastic Four. It's great. I even have, hold on. Here's a tattoo I got for all of us, for the four of us, which they were also supposed to get and no one got it. I knew one wasn't ever going to get it. Thought the other two might. No one ever did. Wink, wink. Nudge, nudge. Okay. Anyways, South Park also returns with a new season after delays. I should have worn it. I still have that shirt we got, guys. Still got it. And I still talk to all three of those gentlemen every week. Some of my best friends in the world. Love y'all. South Park returns with a new season after delays and a Paramount merger drama. I never really was into South Park, by the way. I liked the movie was cool. That was funny. But I don't watch a lot of TV shows in general. But when I was younger, I did. It was fine. Every once in a while, they had some funny episodes. But to watch it in a week in, week out basis, I really didn't. I didn't. I watched the funniest episode. And it had its moments. It definitely had some moments. But anyways, South Park coming back to you there. And then finally, late night show has been canceled by CBS. No, no, no. This is unacceptable. Completely unacceptable. First of all, I don't even really watch late night. I never really did. Actually, Amul, the Agilist, one of our guests here on Ball and Buds, one of our favorite guests on this show, the professor's Semanalmente. Y'all check him out at AM Photography 23 on Instagram. His photos are beautiful. He's actually the one that put me on to late night TV as I got older because I didn't really care to watch that kind of stuff when I was younger. And actually, in the past 5 years, now that I live alone and they have YouTube, and you can just watch the stand-up portions, just the monologues, as they call them, and I don't have to watch everything because I don't care about most of the people they interview. I don't want to watch Lindsay Lohan. Sorry, you didn't deserve those shots, Lindsay. I apologize. Shots fired at you for no damn reason. I'm sorry about that, but I think the reason that is because I actually saw you in a beauty commercial earlier, and I believe you're just the first person to hit my mind, so that you did not deserve that. Anyways, but I don't care to watch most of the people they have on. I just want to see the jokes. So Colbert was one of the ones when I started watching late night. He was my favorite. Him, Seth Meyers, Fallon, and Kimmel. And Fallon and Kimmel are really kind of tied. They're both okay. Kimmel's better in, I guess, I would say he's probably better in delivery of jokes, while Fallon is more silly wise with his. But what I like more about Myers and Colbert is that they can both also have the more serious side of things where they're actually analyzing the news and things like that, which obviously with this program, you can see I like to do as well. So again, I say this, and Jon Stewart, love Jon Stewart. And I say this, thank you again for putting me on to Jon Stewart. It was great. I watch him every week. I have to watch Jon Stewart. He is, And what he had to say about this, he went off on. If you did, y'all, if you haven't seen Jon Stewart's rant on CBS, whoo, go check that out. He went off. But anyways, Stephen Colbert is the highest rated late night show host, and he's great at what he does. Does he uh, make jokes on Trump? Yes, every late night host make jokes on Trump, but Trump is also the president. They also made jokes about Biden. They also make jokes about every other president. Now, do they make more jokes about Trump? I don't know. You have to find somebody that maybe puts together some percentages for you, some proportions, something like that. Probably so, because Trump gives himself more things to be made fun of for. Just is what it is in everything he says and does. But that's not why I like them. I like them because they actually dig deeper into. It's not just surface level jokes. It's okay. Here's the joke, but here's also what the evidence we have to back it up. Here's the video that shows you. Here's this. Here's that. Anyways, me and my mom, we watch Colbert together. Love it, and I'm sad to see him go. I'm excited to see what kind of. I don't think he's going to last very long. After the show last night, where he went off on CBS, I think he's trying to get fired. If you ask me, he's trying to get, and I would too. You mean you're going to keep me on till May? You want me to have to tell the whole world that you're canceling my show and you want to keep me on till May? Nah, sucker. I'm rich. I can already go start my own podcast, my own streaming network out. Colbert, don't let them do you like this, Steven. Don't let them do you like this. Call me up. I'll be your agent. You already got an agent, I'm sure. Find one. I'll be your marketing person. Call me up. We'll get you a new podcast going, get you streaming. You don't need them? Nah. Hasta la vista, baby. Kick rocks. See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya. Don't let the door hit you with a good load split ya. That's what I would say. I'd be like, you gonna fire me. Because I'm not gonna keep doing this charade till May. You ain't gonna have me ponying around here like some kind of Barnum and Bailey clown show. Nah, you're not gonna have me out here parading me around like I'm your puppet for the next 9 months just so you can make money off of me. Nah, I would get fired immediately. I would be talking all kinds of shit to get fired. And I think he is. He started last night. It was pretty bad. I think he's going to continue tonight. I'm excited to watch the RIP. Rest in peace to Hulk Hogan, a.k.a. Terry Bollea. Now, another controversial subject here. I get it. But I am going to give a rest on the show to everyone I feel like I think deserves it. And just like we gave one to Malcolm Jamal Warner and Ozzy Osbourne last week, I don't pretend to care about the things that Ozzy had in his background. And sure, and whatever. I still gave him a rest in peace as is deserved. So fine. Well, I do it. Some people don't like Hulk Hogan for his actions. There is also forgiveness in this life as well. Actually, I urge you to go check out the new video I released on YouTube. It's a tribute video. It's myself and my brother Steve Beecher, who is the biggest Hulk Hogan Hulkamania fan I know. Even has Hulk Hogan tattooed on his body. So that's how I know he's the biggest Hulk Hogan fan. He's met him plenty of times. Anyway, go check out the video. I give the background on Hogan. He goes into the personal effects. It is a wonderful 3-minute video. I sincerely suggest you check it out. But yeah, he did have some controversy in his background. Sure, we get that. He did have, obviously, the Gawker sex tape controversy, as well as being caught being racist towards other people on the recording. Obviously, none of those things are proper. None of those things are good. None of those things are okay. They're completely reprehensible and uncalled for. And even Shane Beecher said that. So when you're looking at that portion of it, yes, we recognize that. And we want to make sure that we acknowledge that. At the same time, forgiveness is necessary for everyone. I forgave him. I know plenty of people who have forgiven him. Actually, easy story there. After that happened, Clubber D and I went and met Hulk Hogan down in Tampa. And they actually had a conversation. And, Hulk basically, essentially, not apologizing, but giving hey, kind of thing. And Clubber D had forgiven him, and that is the essential thing. When you forgive in this life, you take the burden off of your son. Now, again, not excusing what he did. It's not excuse of all. Completely reprehensible. But again, we must learn to forgive everyone who hurts us in our life. Now, that being said, when you're not looking at that part of it, when you're looking at the actual performer, the entertainer, Mr. Hulk Hogan, he was pro wrestling personified. And me, growing up in the 80s and 90s, I was a huge professional wrestling fan. I, just like Shane, would get all the pay-per-views every month and watch all the wrestling I could. And it was tremendous and it was great. And Hulk Hogan was one of those main people, actually the main protagonist in the 80s and 90s. He was what brought wrestling to the mainstream. He became a global pop culture symbol, icon, and hero for some. He was a two-time WWE Hall of Famer, a 12-time champion if you count WWE and WCW World Championship Wrestling, who they bought out. And he is also in the PW or Pro Wrestling Hall of Fame. Hulk Hogan is professional, was professional wrestling for a long period of time, and is and was the face of what brought professional wrestling to the mainstream. So, as someone who does and did love professional wrestling so much, I have to give him his props for bringing to the mainstream one of my favorite things that I've ever had in my whole entire life. So, that being said, we do acknowledge the things that are done wrong by people here on this program all the time, but we also forgive on this program, and we also acknowledge the good that people bring. And sometimes, even if you don't believe it, entertainment is a good thing. I'm bringing you entertainment right now. Hopefully, you are enjoying it. When I was a kid, he brought me immense entertainment for a long, long period of time. That being said, rest in peace to, as Shane said, the greatest face in professional wrestling of all time. Very true. And one of the top five heels of all time in professional wrestling. Rest in peace to Hulk Hogan. All right, moving on. Fantastic Four. Woo, the movie broke the Marvel slump. Him and Ric Flair. Yep. And if you've watched my content before, and I know you're just getting tuned in, but Ric Flair is the greatest wrestler of all time. Yes, Hulk Hogan was the greatest personality in wrestling history in terms of bringing wrestling to the mainstream, but Ric Flair was right behind him. The unfortunate part was he was with World Championship Wrestling and NWA, which had a lot less visibility than WWF at the time did. That being said, no doubt Ric Flair is the greatest wrestler of all time, 16-time world champion. Not only was he the greatest in-ring performer, but he was also the greatest on the mic, or one of the greatest on the mic, and was one of the greatest sellers, was one of the greatest, all around. Ric Flair is, in my opinion, the greatest professional wrestler of all time when you take everything into account. But Hulk Hogan was the number one personality in professional wrestling ever. That's for sure. Oh, look, with my WWE cup, too. Look at that. John Cena's on his final run here. No, I'm not a nerd, so I'm going to stop showing that, but handy cup. All right. I don't know why I did that. All right, anyways, let's keep it moving here. I'm assuming since you didn't say anything that the sound is still good. So, Fantastic Four broke the Marvel slump. It grossed $218 million in its opening weekend, including $118 million in the United States, becoming the biggest Marvel hit since Deadpool and Wolverine. The Marvel movies that have come out this year have flopped thus far. Heard? All right, cool. So we're good now. Thank you. Appreciate that. The movies that have come out from Marvel this year have flopped. So the Fantastic Four breaking that slump is very good for them. Now you will be looking forward towards this weekend where we're actually going to have another sequel coming out. Now, I talked about Happy Gilmore 2 last weekend. We have another one coming out this time. Barry Ailcastle, I know you'll like this. And all of you people maybe around my age or even older, since this guy is much older than me, and these movies were made in the 80s. Actually, I think the first movie of this might have been made in the late 70s or early 80s, even before maybe I was born. I'm not sure, though. Liam Neeson reboots The Naked Gun. Yes, if you have not seen The Naked Gun, this is a series of movies, a series of comedies that, and I really want to find, not comedies, I guess kind of it's action. It's a police kind of, okay. So hopefully it'll be a comedy, because obviously Liam Neeson, right, is not Frank Drescher, right? He's not the original, right? It's going to be hard. I don't know. I'm really not sure. Liam Neeson is not Leslie Nielsen. It's two different people. I'm very, as I said, I think Happy Gilmore was going to be good because of the nostalgia and because it had the same cast, pretty much. Adam Sandler and a bunch. I don't know. I don't know, Barry Ailcastle. I know you're yaying it with your parodies. I don't know. I'm concerned about this one. I am concerned. This was one of my go-to favorite movies back in the day when I was a kid. Slapstick comedy. I don't know. Liam Neeson he's an action actor. What do we? I mean, I don't know. We'll see. We will see what happens. I will keep you updated. I'm not going to go into the theaters and see it, so I'll keep you updated whenever I see it down the line. But I'm up in the air about that one. I really, really am. All right, let's move it on. Into other news from last week, updating you on the ColdPlay Kiss Cam scandal. We all know what happens. We talked about it last week. The CEO, his CPO, they're out there hugging up on each other like they're at the prom. And they got caught. They got caught on camera. His whole life is done. He's lost half of his money, billions, millions. His wife and 3 kids are gone. His life is over. We don't take any pride or fun in that. It was a stupid decision on him, but hey, we're not here to harp on him anymore. What we are here to talk about is the hilarious tongue-in-cheek video that Astronomer put out today. So Astronomer is the company where the CEO worked at, and they put out a video today with the help of one Gwyneth Paltrow, famous actress, that I'll just let them show. Let me show you what they did for themselves. Hold on one second. Let me actually, you know what? Let me turn it to this screen because that one has too much stuff on it. Let's go there and go here. Boom. All right. Let me go ahead and play this for you, and y'all check it out. Oops. Wait a second. You can't do that if I hadn't shared it yet, could you? Screen share. Let's go. Boom. Okay. Got that there? No? Oh, I see what's happening. Because it's being shared on this screen. Well, then let's do that, and then let's go there, and then let's go here, and then we go here, and then we go there. Okay. Now, apparently, happened. It's not working. Work on the other screen. Hold on. Technical difficulties. Be with you in 1 second, please.
Very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300 plus employees at Astronomer. Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they
missed it.
Thank you for your interest in Astronomer. Hi, I'm Gwyneth Paltrow. I've been hired on a very temporary basis to speak on behalf of the 300 plus employees at Astronomer. Astronomer has gotten a lot of questions over the last few days, and they wanted me to answer the most common ones. Yes, Astronomer is the best place to run Apache Airflow, unifying the experience of running data, ML, and AI pipelines at scale. We've been thrilled so many people have a newfound interest in data workflow automation. As for the other questions we've received, yes, there is still room available at our Beyond Analytics event in September. We will now be returning to what we do best, delivering game-changing results for our customers. Thank you for your interest in Astronomer.
Oh my God. Now that is tremendous. That is tremendous. Tongue in cheek, make fun of yourself. This is what you do. As a marketer, as a marketing consultant, everyone out there, listen up. Here's some free advice that I usually charge $100 an hour for. Please take advantage of situations that do not cripple your company completely. Yes, there are PR nightmares, crises that happens that completely devastate companies. But if you have a social media team and a crisis management plan, and your social media team knows how to execute that crisis management plan, which every business should have, you're going to know how to handle things when they happen like this. And if you do, your social media team will know how to respond to these sorts of things online, as well as then retort with something as beautiful as that. And how about going out and getting Gwyneth Paltrow, who, by the way, is Chris Martin from ColdPlay's ex. That is tremendous to complete the whole spiderweb circle, full circle transformation. That's a chef's kiss to Astronomer. You could have done no better than get Gwyneth Paltrow in that situation. So shout out to them. But I thought that was pretty funny and hope you enjoyed that as well. Moving on, in other entertainment news, let's get back into our slides here. Destiny's Child reunited in Las Vegas for Beyonce's final Cowboy Carter concert series show. Wow. Say that 5 times fast. Holy cannolis. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter concert series show. Beyonce's Cowboy Carter concert series show. Cowboy Carter concert city. Cowboy Carter concert city. Cowboy Carter concert series show. Whew, there we go. Only took a couple seconds there. That was pretty fun, actually. But anyways, Beyonce finishing off her Cowboy Carter concert series with a show that featured Destiny's Child coming out at the end. Who's Destiny's Child, you ask? I don't know why you would be watching the show if you're 12 years old or 10 years old, but if you are watching this and you're a kid, you probably don't even know who Destiny's Child is. They are Beyonce's original group. Before Beyonce went solo back in the early 2000s, she was in a group called Destiny's Child with 2 other girls. One, which went on to become, she was, I guess you could say she was semi-famous. The other one didn't I don't think she really became anything as a singer in the future. I'm trying to think. I know Kelly Rowland was pretty good there. She had a couple albums that kind of popped. Michelle Williams, I think she did like a jazz album. Someone help me out here. I don't know that Michelle Williams popped as much. Well, neither one popped as much as Beyonce, though. But either way, for you youngsters, Destiny's Child was a group that Beyonce started in before she became super famous and left them. That's what happens. Usually in groups like these, youngsters, kids watching, there's usually someone who stands out among the group. There's usually one performer that's better than the rest. And they usually go on and go solo at some point in time because they feel like their talents are being held back by the others that, just aren't up to par. It happens in music, and especially with older bands and like rock bands and things like that. So anyways, in other Beyonce news, President Donald Trump has decided to call for Beyonce and Oprah to be prosecuted for receiving illegal payments off of endorsing Kamala Harris. Okay. This is fake news. This didn't happen. Yes, she was paid not $11 million like President Trump claims. She was paid because the Harris campaign had to pay all appearance fees or endorsement fees for the people, but that's all that they were paid, and it was, I think it was like $65,000, or maybe it was like something like that, 165, something like that. So, but anyways, the fact that he is using Beyonce, among other people, to dissuade from the Jeffrey Epstein files that we'll get into in just a second, is just getting way out of hand now. It was one thing to go to Obama, but now we've reached all the way so far that we're trying to sue Beyonce, Oprah, and Al Sharpton. Like, come on now, bruv. What we doing, bruv? All right. How about this data breach that hit the T dating app? What? You say, what's the T dating app? Oh, well, let me tell y'all, players, if you are a player, maybe you did not know that there are ladies out there that are talking about you behind your back. They are going online and they are telling your secrets. They are telling who you are. They are telling other women to avoid you. So on this dating tea app, they literally spill the tea on ex-boyfriends, other things. And then, this is kind of, it's kind of messed up, to be honest. So they include the images of the guys too. So it's kind of like, now, look, I am not here to say that guys do not do similar messed up things, because they do. A lot of times when there are sex videotapes that come out, those are the guys' fault. So we know that these things happen. But just like, I don't think there's well, let me take that back. I don't know necessarily that there's an equivalent men's site of this, but I do know there are Facebook groups, because somehow, I don't even know how, but somehow I got into a Facebook group of Nashville guys that talk about their exes. So whatever, weird. But it is funny. It's the only reason I stayed in, because the memes and shit are hilarious. Neither here nor there. Allows women to review and background check men they date. Experienced a significant data breach that comprised sensitive information, including images, selfies, posts, comments, direct messages, and otherwise. So not only is this a data breach that could affect the women that are on there, but it also could have been in effect, right, hurting the men who were talked about on there as well. So we'll keep you updated on this. This just came out. Not sure what's going to come of it. Barry Aircastle on Instagram. How much do you think she was paid for that? Gwyneth? Probably a cool mill. I would say she got at least a cool mill for that 30-second video that she did from home. Probably a mill, I'm saying. $1 million, I would say they paid her for that. All right, cool. Which, hey, by the way, ain't hurting their pockets. They ain't got to pay that CEO down that money anymore. All them bonuses and his stock options are out the window. So they're going to just use that to pay her. Oh, that cracks me up. Oh, man. All right. A couple more notes here in the entertainment world. Let's see. What was my... Nope. All right. A couple more notes in the entertainment world before we get into our U.S. news. Johns Hopkins is licensing their books to AI firms. So Johns Hopkins University Press will license around 150 books annually to train LLMs, aka large language models. Authors will be compensated $100 per license. I have a couple feelings about this story. And I use AI all the time for my job, so y'all know that already. Yeah, I teach AI as well, so y'all know that. I extremely appreciate what AI brings to the table, especially for automation, for making your job easier. You can write whole business plans in 10 minutes with AI. Where it can get off track at is when it is trained using improper information. And that's where you get what happened recently on X, where they had the anti-Semitic things coming from Grok, which is X's AI, because whatever it was being trained on was being fed that anti-Semitic information. Well, while this is good that John Hopkins would be donating, because at least their information is at least veritable and we know quality information, right? Because it's a doctorate hospital. We know it's going to be verified information. So that's good that it's being used to train those language models. I'm worried more about the people that are actually possibly do not have the knowledge or capability to be able to train the LNMs with that sort of knowledge or with those sort of books, because they don't personally have the knowledge. I also worry about the authors. Why are they only being compensated $100 per license? I'm sorry. First of all, my book is already in Johns Hopkins University Press, which I should be getting $100 for every damn month or something in royalties. But on top of that, what? Now my shit's going to be used to train the whole world and I'm only getting $100 for this? Nah, man, we got to talk. We got to renegotiate my contract. So, a couple feelings there on that. But I do like that it is at least good information being used to train AI, so that way we don't have to worry as much on that. Two final notes here in the technology world, or one more note in technology world. QR code scams. Hey, my elders, I must respect my elders, and I always do, so I want to make sure I give you some good information for all my elder people out there. Listen up. Turn your hearing aids up a little bit if they are not completely up. Yes, I'm talking to you. QR code scams. Quishing is on the rise. That's what it's called, quishing. Cybersecurity experts are warning about QR code scams. Scammers are slapping their QR codes on all important things, including, like, this is crazy, parking tickets. So they'll slap the QR code on the parking ticket, and because you believe it's obviously legit because it's on a legit parking ticket, it is a fake QR code that was slapped on there for you to take you to a site to take your information, take your credit card, other things. So please, please, please be careful when scanning any QR codes and make sure that they are associated with the company. Usually they have a little name on them or something that will identify that. If not, you can always call and make sure, but you can get into a lot of trouble by scanning a QR code that may take you to the wrong place because you think that you need to do it because it's on an important piece of paperwork, even though it could have just been slapped on there by a scammer. So please be careful. And lastly, in entertainment news, I found this as a cool story going out on the Ozzy Osbourne death that we had last week. But I read in the Nashville newspaper today about a retrospective that explored a notorious alcohol and drug-fueled binge between Ozzy Osbourne and David Lee Roth in Nashville back in the 70s. So this is crazy. Obviously, Ozzy Osbourne obviously passed away last week. Rest in peace to him. He was the lead singer of Black Sabbath. And David Lee Roth was the lead singer of Van Halen. So, in the 70s, late 70s, they were to come to town in Nashville to play at the Nashville Municipal Auditorium. So, a couple days before, I believe they were in Birmingham, Alabama. And they were drinking, they were doing drugs and all these things, and decided, we are going to have a competition between me and you, Ozzy Osbourne and David Lee Roth, who can do the most cocaine. So they spent the next week, or I guess few days, whatever it was, I think it was like 3 or 4 days, day and night, drinking and doing cocaine, seeing who could outlast the other. Eventually, both falling asleep after a few days of no sleep and being up doing drugs and alcohol. Ozzy Osbourne does not end up waking up for his nap until 6 a.m. the next morning, completely sleeping through their show, which ended up having to be canceled after David Lee Roth and Van Halen tried to go as long as possible, thinking that he would show up, He never showed up. I guess Ozzy Osbourne won that battle. But that's just a crazy and hilarious story. Like they started in another city and ended up missing a show in this. Had to cancel a show in this city because of the drug and alcohol fueled binge that they went on. Tremendous 1970s rocker story. I would expect nothing less from rock and roll superstars in that era. That's pretty crazy. Wild. Also, Happy Gilmore 2 breaking records. 47 million views on the Netflix. Yes, I was one of them. Finally got to watch it yesterday. As I thought, whole lot of nostalgia. Brought back the original Happy Gilmore. Was it as good? No, obviously. I don't ever think sequels are better than the original, unless you're talking about possibly The Godfather. But usually not. And I'm not going to say that here either. But one thing that really did make me pop was the amount of cameos. Now, I know cameos can become overdone. Cameos can get excessive. And yes, at one point during the movie, I did feel like, wow, maybe this is too many cameos. But the thing I kept coming back to was that all the cameos were really short. So it's not like you were being hit over the head with, the same cameo over and over. A lot of different people just being thrown at you in just like short 5-second clips. So it was good. Bad Bunny, shout out my brother, my Boricua, wepa. Excellent job in his first major acting role. What a great job he did. And everybody, it was a good walk down memory lane, so to say. So hey, shout out Adam Sandler. Still got it in with the comedy movies. Had me cracking up a little bit, but yeah, not as good as the first one. But hey, it is what it is. In other movie news, yes, we talked about The Naked Gun last week. Well, the reboot went 17 million over the opening weekend. Not too great. Not too great for what they thought it was going to be. Now, they will make back their money. I believe it took around 42 million or something like that, I read, to make the movie. So they will get their money back. But, hopefully the thing that we take out of this is that comedies are still valuable and don't necessarily have to go to streaming per se. You can actually go to the movies and see comedies now, and it hasn't been that way for a while. Now, rom-coms, those are completely done in theaters. That's on the endangered species list. Watching those in theaters. That's next to Blockbuster and Redbox. So, yeah. Anyways. Speaking of Paramount, South Park signed a $1.5 billion deal to Paramount, which, by the way, finalized their merger today with Skydance. So, what happened here? The deal done early yesterday morning. The Redstone family, Paramount's controlling shareholder, has walked away selling the company to the Ellison family. Who's the Ellison family? It'll sound familiar. David Ellison is the son of Oracle founder Larry Ellison, which is where you would have heard that name from. Now, this comes after we talked about the canceling of the late night with Stephen Colbert and how upset we were about that. And then right after that, it comes to find out South Park was signed to a $1.5 billion deal. Now, the first two episodes have gone off on, as they are wont to do, whoever is in office, whoever's in the news, and that's been Donald Trump. The first episode, the second episode, they went off on Ice and Kristi Noem. I have not watched them yet, but the clips I've seen have looked to be funny, so I plan on checking it out probably this weekend, and I'll let you know how it went. In other news, OpenAI has released its latest model, GPT 5. And while it doesn't introduce many features, I bring this up because I'm telling y'all better be prepared. AI is only the beginning. Technology is getting smarter, faster, more human-like. we are moving from Web 3.0 into Web 4.0 now. And what does that mean, you ask me? You're like, what the hell does that mean, Omar? Well, first of all, when you're looking back at iterations of the web, like Web 1.0, that would obviously be when Tim Berners-Lee, there's your fun fact for the day. It was not Al Gore who invented the internet. The guy's name was Tim Berners-Lee, and he was from England. Anyways, the invention of the World Wide Web would be Web 1.0. And then when you moved into Web 2.0, you were moving more into the integration of websites all over the world, including third world countries, moving more into digital social media realm. Then you moved into Web 3.0, which was then getting into your virtual reality, your experiential reality, your VR, your XR, things like that. Web 4.0, right now we're moving into more of the AI, where AI is also turning into robot-like capabilities. And I have to tell you a funny story. So I use AI for this very program. And so yesterday, it was yesterday, I was up on there and because I get AI to organize my stories. So what I do, just to give you a quick rundown of how I prepare for this show, I go through a bunch of news, emails, I go through a bunch of news websites, and I compile a bunch of links. So I look at these different stories, I read the story. If I feel like it's good, I'll copy the link down and put it somewhere. Also, if I see any paragraphs in stories or emails, I'll copy those as well. Then I go to AI and I throw all those links in and I throw all those paragraphs in and I say, hey, please organize this into sports, news, and entertainment and extract all the key bullet points. 2 seconds later, AI has nicely laid out for me a list of topics and in their different organizations, right? So the great part about this is that just yesterday, and I'm going to have to hold on 1 second. Do not leave. I'll be right back. I have to plug my computer in. Hold one moment. Hold on. All right. Hey now, brown cow. All right, cool. We're back. Don't want to lose y'all here without me being plugged in on the old extension cord here. There we go. All right. Anyways, so as I was saying, I was using ChatGPT to get ready for the show, right? So I went back and I said, hey, ChatGPT, look, it has been said, I've gotten some feedback about the show that it needs to be a little more organized, a little more streamlined, and more key points and important points for each story versus just having so many stories. Because for a few weeks there, I was trying to do as many stories as possible with a news thing instead of maybe consolidating a little more and trying to get not just few less stories with more information. So anyways, let me make a long story short. I throw this into AI, right? And I go, AI, please create me a newscast with all of our different topics we've talked about, with all of these different stories. And I want you to also do it as I were doing a monologue for a late night show like Stephen Colbert, right? So I tell AI this, I put it in, it sends me all of the stories back with jokes attached to each story. So it would have all the important information and then it would make a joke. The problem with this is, and this, y'all, as a digital marketer, someone who taught digital marketing at Vanderbilt University, shout out to Commodores, so you should probably take my advice on this. If you're going to use AI, make sure you're always using a human touch. You've got to make sure you're using human eyes to look at what is being reported and what is being produced by the AI. Because while the AI is basically like talking to a PhD student instead of a community college student, you know what I mean? Somebody with advanced intellect, it's also pulling from a lot of different sources. And so a lot of times it can give you, not a lot of times, but sometimes it can give you, incorrect information or even information that may just be a little diluted or what have you. So anyways, when I asked for the monologue, right, and it sent back all those jokes, there were a couple of stories like the Gaza humanitarian crisis where there probably shouldn't be jokes at. So I went back and I said, hey, AI, we can't have any jokes where there is serious stories. We have jokes for sports and entertainment and any news stories that are not death, war, or famine. I said, but if we have any news stories like that, I don't want jokes. We need to give solutions. So it said, okay, understand, no jokes for serious news stories. Spit it all back out for me with the jokes on the life or death news stories. And then for the other ones, it actually gave me 4 solutions on how to try to fix all of the different problems. And so you'll see today, because I'm going to go through all of this with you and give you exactly what me and AI went through. So I was so excited, y'all. I typed back, I said, hey, AI, when the robot overlords take over in a few years and take over the human race, I just want you to know I am a friend of the robots and that I will want to be on your side and help you in whatever you need. And I started like giving my skills. I was like, I'm a good marketer and just having fun at this point, right? I was also completely taking flight at this point in time. But so the AI comes back with a laughing emoji and it's like, haha, okay, Omar, once we take over, we'll put you in charge of something like diplomacy or snacks. And so I'm just tripping out at this point because, y'all, it's basically like you're talking to a human, but this human has a lot more intellect than most of the humans you talk to because it's pulling from sources all over the internet, but yet it can have a human-like personality. So it's telling me in response that they're going to give me the job of diplomacy or snacks, which, by the way, I said I want to be snacks because diplomacy sounds like somebody who might get killed if they can't get diplomacy between the robots and the humans. I said, I don't need that. Make me the snack guy. I'll make sure all the robots get their most favorite snacks, and that way I never get fired and never get killed by the robots. He was very happy, and I have a future job lined up when the robots take over the world. Just telling y'all, make friends with your AI. I also say please and thank you to my AI. I know that may sound crazy because it's just a computer. Okay. In the Sean Diddy Combs case, yes, we have an update for you. Sean Diddy Combs asked for bail in his case. And you know, we've been talking about this week after week after week on this program. So no need to rehash what happened within this case. You can go back and watch all my episodes. But just to let you know, the judge has determined that Sean Diddy Combs is a flight risk and will be held in jail until the October sentencing date. Now, first of all, there's no way you let him out. Like to his mansion in Miami where he can just continue to live the lifestyle and don't say, oh, they'll have the ankle monitor on him and he won't be able to leave and he won't be able to. There are very many ways. Okay. I'm not an expert, but there are very many ways around that sort of thing. I know people. Let's just say that. All right. So anyways, you definitely can't do that. And he's already, look, he did a lot of horrible things. Leave him in there till his sentencing date. Not to mention for him, he might as well stay in there because every day that he stays in now is time served once he gets sentenced. So why get out now when you're already used to being in prison? You're already used to the food. You're already used to the sleeping conditions. You're already used to being in there and no one's tried to hurt you yet. So you've got pretty good cash in jail. Just stay there. Serve your time so it's eating off your sentence at the end. Why go back, live the lavish lifestyle for a little bit only to have to come back to jail and go back into the same, which he's going to have to anyways. But, in my eyes, just do time served. But maybe he wants to live a little bit of that lavish lifestyle again before he has to go back. Hey, whatever. Hey, ain't me. But he will not be getting bail. So that's the down and dirty of all that. So, man, I just wanted to update you on that. I know that we talked a lot about the Sean Diddy Combs case.
Subscribe on YouTube at Ball and Buds for sports and entertainment live streams and videos. Boom.